Alright, it's week 3 of the Domain 9 series. And starting out, we should be getting a level increase soon. From what I hear, most likely Sunday, but I believe at the very least it should be coming up soon. So make sure that you're prepared once you reach level 95 because you're going to have to level up everything. But starting out, let's go ahead and take a look at our casual tab. And you want to go ahead and visit your artificial island. Once on this page, go ahead and click the present box so that way you can collect your resources, because remember, you can only hold this for 24 hours, and then you want to visit your island. Once inside, you can go ahead and click this triangle, and you can go to your exchange store, and make sure you buy your weekly items. Also, once it hits around 12 o'clock, be sure to check around here and see if you have an old man. If not, be sure to check your friends' islands, because you can get 8 items a week. And before the week ends, you want to make sure you kill your enemies on the island, so that way you can get their resources. Bringing us to the next tab, fishing. So ideally, you want to try to get this to level 9. That way you can buy your weekly standard matrice. And if you're just starting out with fishing, I recommend that you get 100 to 150 green bait, and then with the rest of your available bait for the week, buy purple bait, so that way you can get your fishing up later. Next, you do not want to forget to do your appointed research. Because remember, you can only hold a grand total of 20 energy a day, so that way you can keep getting that 5 energy a day, and you do not want this to cap. And next, let's go ahead and talk about Ronnie the resource dealer. Now, unfortunately, you cannot teleport here. Remember to check and make sure that you bought all the items from him before the week ends. And as you see for me, it seems like I forgot to pick up Ronnie myself, but we definitely want to make sure we get these pelican shards, go ahead and get our free energy, and buy that potent omnium crystal. But if you enjoyed these weekly guys, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way they can spread more on YouTube. And the last thing is you want to go ahead and do your racing before the month ends. That way you can get that free 400 Mira. Next, you want to go ahead and do your Mia's Kitchen, and you want to knock out your 4 bounties for the day. And always pick Domain 9. Now for me, I'm going to be saving all of my keys until 3.2 once we have a new energy source. And now we got our vitality, starting with joint operations. So for today, we got Carnival Party, which is generally the most easiest JO. If you have some extra vitality solutions, this may be one that you might want to farm, so that way you can quickly get rid of them. But you want to make sure that you do this at least one time, so that way you can get your daily first clear reward, and get in the habit of taking a look at this instant affix, so that way you can see which days have the Habuella or Silka shards. And this week, it ended up being Thursday. Next, we got Interstellar Exploration, and you want to check Vera as well as check Aspera, so that way you can see all of your Stargates, because unfortunately, this does not work in Inners or Domain 9. But what you're looking for are level 3 Stargates, and how you can tell if you have a level 3 is if this weapon battery category has a number 3, it's a level 3 Stargate, but if it has a number 2, it's a level 2 Stargate. But if you don't have any level 3s, you could always do Dimensional Trials, to where all you need to do is just simply click Go, and you can use Quick Battle to use up all of your vitality. And you can do the same for Matrix Data Packs and Go. Which brings us to the optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market and talk to Hopkins, see this island and do the claw machine, or knock out your 2 trainings for the day. And what else is optional is you can knock out your 8 fun zones. And if you have not already done the gray space, you want to go ahead and knock out your 6 gray space fishers. But the best rewards are in the Twilight Zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could do this later. But one thing you do want to make sure that you get completed every week is your Security Force mission, so that way you can get those old Vera coins in Mira. Which brings us to our events. So hopefully you've done most of the exploring in Domain 9, so that way you got most of these completed, and you knocked out your challenges, so that way you get some other rewards as well. If you want to get Leoa, you only have a little over 2 days to get her, as well for her reruns. And here's a quick recap on who I think is worth. If you want to get Lon, especially getting Lon A1, that is a very good pickup. Annabella is completely outclassed by Leoa at A0, and Ruby should be entering the standard banner soon, so I recommend that you pass on those 2. Then we got Yulon coming out on Tuesday, and with her comes her rerun, so we should be seeing Icarus, Alice, and Saki. Now for Saki, I recommend that you pass because she should be entering the standard banner very soon. Then we got Alice, which is a fairly strong character, but unfortunately, almost all the characters that came after her are just much stronger. So I don't really recommend that you try to go for her unless you really just like the playstyle, because she does work really well with Yulon, allowing you to do a main DPS Yulon. And then we have Icarus, which pairs very well with Yulon, and I would say his matrices rival Yulon's due to his versatility. Then we have our main event. So you go ahead and click on this cloud icon and you'll see that we have the 7-day bonus. So hopefully you logged in enough times to get everything there. You have the Cloudscape store to where you have pretty much until the end of the patch to go ahead and knock this out. So you have not already, you still have some time. But for this main event, we only have a little over 2 days left to do it because you want to try to get the best items in this store. And if you're behind on points, I strongly recommend that you do this event, the Wild Goose Array. It is very easy to do. Even if you don't know how to play, you can just match up, quickly lose, and just do it over and over again. I believe a match takes about 30 seconds. And for the store, if you've been playing for quite a while, you may not need a lot of items in here. So the main thing that I'm going to be going for are the Lost Techs because there is no limit on it. And the reason why is so that way I can make visors using my free energy, because Lost Techs is something that you can't get unless you spend dark crystals to buy it. Whereas the other materials to make visors, you can easily farm. Which brings us to the weekly tab, and you want to make sure you do enough things down here so that way you can get everything up top. And also make sure that you're doing everything down here that can give you keys because you want to save those for patch 3.2. But when it comes to your golden keys, I'm saving those for patch 3.1 once we get the new boss so that way we can get the new smart servant. Then we got our challenges, starting with Bygone Phantasm. So again, you want to go ahead and take a look at this weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus, then you may want to climb a few levels. And if your CS is high enough, if you do this sneak to next level, you're going to be able to go up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to get a high score here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole. Now you have 11 days to go ahead and do this so that way you can get some pretty nice rewards. So you want to make sure that you do that before the 11 days is up. Frontier Clash, you want to go ahead and knock this out so that we can get that golden gear. Origin of War, we just entered a new season, so a lot of people may not be able to clear it. If that is you, then just simply wait a few weeks until the difficulty goes down. But try to clear level 15 and above before the difficulty drops below 600%. Void Rift, if this is a first time boss for you, you want to go ahead and knock it out. Void Abyss, now I went with a flame DPS, and this is a tech that I use. But one thing I do recommend is that you try to get Mechanical Core because we are fighting Gaia at the end. And if you are having trouble with this and you have a rainbow team, you may want to go for the rainbow tech because it does make you pretty powerful. Raids, you want to go ahead and make sure that you clear this before the week is up. But there does seem like there is a bug to where if you do heroic and clear that one, then you clear challenge, you can get double rewards. But there was a notice that they are going to fix this in the upcoming maintenance. So you may want to try to do this even on the upcoming Monday. Break from Destiny, you want to make sure you do this at least one time during the month so that we can get that 250 dark crystals. Arena. One thing to note about Arena is that you have a daily limit of critical abyss points that you can get. It increases by 2,000 points a day, so tomorrow we're going to have a grand total of 14,000 points. You may want to try to do a little bit of PvP so that way you can get these critical abyss points because the store will be changing soon to where you can get Veron and accessory shards. But if you are trying to aim for Grand Marshal, you may want to put a couple hours in each day. Next, we got our daily buys. So again, I recommend that you make sure that the monthly pass is going because this is pretty much the best deal in the game. But let's go ahead and take a look at the hot store, and then you have your vitality solutions. Now for me, I'm going to pass because I have plenty of good gear, but do note that when you buy these vitality solutions, you are giving up rolls. So I don't recommend that you spend no more than 2, and if you do get 2 a day, you are giving up 21 rolls every new limited character. But one thing that you do want to try to get is your booster modules and your advancement modules for the week if you can afford it. Which brings us to the commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust store. So you want to make sure you buy your Potent Omnium Crystal 2, your advancement modules, your booster modules, your core control modules, and your augmentation factor. And you may want to even get your very special gifts so that way you can give them to 3.0 characters. And then when it comes to your energy crystal dust, I recommend that you buy boots or gloves so that way you can get high crit. And if you have high crit in both of these, then I recommend you get whatever else you want. Space Time store, you want to buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your data repeater. And with your other extra crystal fragments, you can consider buying combat engines, and if you have a good combat engine, then you can buy IP shards. Brew store, now the only thing that you want to spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are either Space Time Rift or Omnium Shield. But you could consider a drone level 3 or a hologram projector. Support store, you want to make sure you buy your Space Time crystal fragments, your Space Time crystal dust, your gold, and then if you have some extra support points, join supply chips and black nucleus. And then if you have return points, you want to make sure you buy your Space Time crystal fragments, and then if you have a lot, then you can go ahead and buy your radar detector, your proof of purchase, and your gold nucleus. ridiculous. Point store. Now the only thing that you want to spend your points on are spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or Cetus Island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you could always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. But besides that, I just recommend that you finish exploring the map, so that way you can get all of those extra resources. And one thing to note, look forward to my Yulon video, which should be coming out either Monday or before she releases, but I am aiming for Monday this time, guys. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.